how bad are things there at the moment? Is it a short-term hit, or does it actually change the structural nature of cinema going in any way?
I think structural change, I don't think will happen. But of course, it's a huge, extraordinary event that has happened in the last 100 years. As everybody's become very familiar with history now. Nothing like this has ever happened before. But I think definitely if we are closed for a long time, and that there is so much skepticism in people to go out of their homes once the lockdown does open, I think it's going to be a slow burn. We were the first ones to have been asked to lock down, and we'll be the last ones, unfortunately, to be asked to open up. So I think it's going to be a slow burn, people coming out, new movies getting released. There's going to be a tentativeness. But, everybody, all establishments, whether your hotels, restaurants, airlines, all are taking safety measures. We'll be taking global standard safety measures to make our customers and guests feel safe and secure. But I do feel that it's going to take time before the industry picks up, because this has been a very, very bad hit.
Well, you're doing no business, basically. Isn't that the case, Ajay, ultimately? And once you start doing business, you have to, perhaps, as I mentioned, the structural side of things, you have social distancing in place, perhaps, and other measures in order to try and stop further transmissions or a second wave of this pandemic.
Yes, definitely. What I meant from structural was, the way the movies get released on the big screen and then they go to the OTT platforms. And also what I understood was that any physical changes, there'll all be softer issues, definitely. We will be using a lot of digital technology at the box office. Everything, touch points will be reduced. In India, you do safety, security, at the entrance. That will get reduced to no body touching, only door frame metal detectors will be there. Food and beverage menu is going to be truncated, and service on seats will happen. In the auditorium, where maximum amount of time is spent, I think there we will be doing staggering of seating, so groups can sit together, but adjacent seats will be left empty. So from that point of view, all the softer issues will be taken care of: masks, PPE equipment, deep cleansing between shows. So shows will get staggered, maybe cleaning time will get increased. So all those things, health checkups every 2 weeks for our own employees who are working, reduce staff, more dependence on technology. So those softer issues and SOPs have to be put in place for people to feel comfortable and come back to the movies.
Ajay, you talk about slow burn, a very bad hit. I mean, what does that mean in terms of your own liquidity perspective? How tough looking ahead, and is there a possibility of a default?
No, we did a QIP before, a qualified institutional placement in December. So we did have some cash in the bank, and we were expecting it to end by July 15th or something. Now we don't see any visibility, because in the unlock 1.0 that the government has announced in India, we're in the third category of opening up. And so we have discussed and approved an enabling resolution yesterday for a rights issue. So we will have to do some more fundraising, and the company's balance sheet is strong. We've had a very good credibility with the bankers, with most of the stakeholders. So we'll have to raise money, and then we'll see through if the cinemas do open in a couple of months' time. Even though if they open in a staggered manner, that's also okay, because India is a large country. There are 36 different states and union territories, so it's not going to happen overnight like this. But if we do start opening by mid-July to mid-August, I think we should be okay, because a lot of good movies are lined up as well. Hollywood is releasing a lot of movies. Indian films are lined up as well. And all surveys are showing two things. One, safety, security measures should be there. And secondly, movies should be brand new, because there's only so much you can watch on the OTT platform. So people are very restless, incarcerated at homes, and they want to go out and consume their number one form of out-of-home entertainment, at least in India.
You talk about the need to raise funds. How much might you need?
The enabling resolution that we did yesterday was roughly about 40 million US, but it's still enabling. We still have to go out and get all the mandatory approvals before we're able to do that. But typically, once you put in that kind of equity, one should be able to get a debt as well, equivalent debt. So that should see us through, till next year. And then there'll be, of course, if the cinemas open, there'll be normal revenues coming in anyway. So we should be okay with that kind of money.
Ajay, I'm assuming also right now what we have are a lot of movies backed up that haven't been released, which will be released. But then do you wonder down the road whether there's actually a veritable sort of desert of a lack of releases because people weren't able to make movies during this lockdown?
Yes, that's obviously a very important thing, that both the supply has to also be there, and but government in India did open film shootings first before they opened the cinemas. So only movies which require massive sets and big production values, maybe they will take time to start getting shot. But there's a huge backlog which should see us through till at least February next year. And then the new flow will come. India makes about 1,500 films a year. So that's why this market, this geography is very different from any other market, where 90% of the reliance is still on Indian films and only 10% on Hollywood and international films. So I do see a lot of films coming. There could be a little blip in the supply, but should be okay.
Ajay, very, very quickly, what movie are you looking forward to seeing the most?
I'm looking forward to Tenet by Christopher Nolan, definitely, because not only because of his cinematic values, because he's the one who's gone out on a limb and said that I will release the movie on July 17th, and given a huge support and impetus to the entire exhibition industry all over the world, and has not got tempted to release the movie anywhere on the OTT platforms. So I think for multiple reasons, I think Tenet is something I'm looking forward to on July 17th.